Welcome to Collecting Chaos. My name is James, and this is the last Coffee with Chaos. But I'm not giving up on my Wednesday night show. I'm just changing the name. It's going to be Wednesday Night Chaos from now on, as of next week. So, there you go. Lawson, great to see you, buddy. Matt likes comics. Glad to see you. And that's where I'm at. I've decided I want to change the name. Instead of Coffee with Chaos, it'll be Wednesday Night Chaos. It makes sense to me, and you'll find out during this show. Got something I want to show you. Where did I put it? Oh, there it is. Yeah, it's done. I finished it today. It will be on video. It'll be released tomorrow morning at 6:30. I was only gone for a week, you know. I had a lot of things I had to get done. Oh, yeah, and this is tea, not coffee. 72 years old. I think it's time I cut down on the amount of caffeine I'm getting, or the amount of coffee I drink anyway. And so that's what that's all about. But yeah, this is Jackson White Kirk. There you go. Yes, decaffeinated. Yeah, I like the way it turned out. I think it turned out really well. The staple holes for the bottom lined up perfect, and the staple holes on the top lined up perfect. This is not a married cover. It is the original. I am 100% sure of that. So, yeah. Got another comic I want to show you. And you may be aware that I don't collect a lot of Marvel comics. I mean, yeah, I collect Werewolf by Night. Well, I used to. I don't anymore because I have them all. I used to collect Tomb of Dracula, but I don't because I have them all. I still collect a couple others, Daredevil, and a few others. And some miscellaneous things that don't really make sense as to why I would collect it. This is one of them. Solo Avengers number 12, Hawkeye. I don't collect Solo Avengers, so why would I have not one, but two of these? Something for you to think about. I'll let you know at the end of the show or later in the show, whichever. We'll let you know later. I'm not going to tell you right now. I got thirsty sitting here. Next thing, before I get to the comics, and I am going to get to the comics, I want to show you some things that were dropped off with me. And the idea is I'm supposed to look at them and decide if I want them and then make an offer. I will give you a little bit of my insight as to how I go about making offers on stuff. I have them for a very good reason, trust me. And the first thing I want to show you is a Mickey Mouse bank. Unfortunately, it's missing the plug. I looked it up on eBay, and they go for anywhere. This particular one goes for anywhere from $2 to $20. So there's no money here. And I would not be buying something for Mickey Mouse if I planned on keeping it. I'd be buying it for resale. And then there's this. It's another bank, but this is a gumball bank. Unfortunately, gumballs have been left in it way too long. If I can get it cleaned up enough, we're talking $5 to $20. Again, there's no money in this for me because to get all of this cleaned up and out of here is probably going to take me 3 or 4 hours, and that's way more than what it's worth. But there's more. A couple of action figures that I've never seen. like this one. Uh, I'm thinking it's like a historical action figure. Uh, I don't know who. Revolutionary War period, I would think, based on the tricorn hat that's with it. And this one, which is George Washington, but he's broke, so that would be parts. I'd be selling that as parts. Not a lot of money in that. And here's another one. Some sort of Native American figure, but the arm is the lower half of the arm is missing. Again, I'd have to break it down and sell it as parts, and maybe sell the clothing separate. So we're not really talking a lot of money there either. So far, it doesn't look like it's something I want to buy. But there's more. And here's something I've never seen. Well, I've seen, but not this. These are called Swift Runners, and there's 3 of them, and I'm not familiar with this company. I thought I knew quite a bit about diecast, but I don't know this company at all. Now, diecast vehicles, no matter what they are, I can get $1 a piece for them at a local show with no problem at all. So these, it's like $3. All in so far, we're looking at, if I'm lucky, maybe $30. One more item. Never opened. It's the pinup wall decorations, Sesame Street. Never opened. Uh, and the open ones that I've seen of this, we're talking $15 to $20. With this one, maybe 60 to 100. This is a money item if I can sell it. So that's how I'm looking at it. I'll probably offer them like $30 or $40 for everything, simply because it's not worth much. I won't be able to get hardly any money out of it, and there's no guarantee I can get this clean. There is a box for that, by the way, but it's trash. So I haven't decided yet how much I'm going to offer, if any. The same guy brought a comic book. Now he doesn't want to sell this to me. He wants me to clean it and press it. I haven't examined it yet. It might not be feasible to clean and press. It might be one of those ones that if you don't conserve it, cleaning it might be worse than sometimes when you get a comic, cleaning the comic is not going to help it. It's going to hurt it. So I have to look at that and decide. Local, I go to like local sidewalk sales, stuff like that, sell it locally. So, like I said, that he wants to keep that, but he wants me to do a dry clean, no wet cleaning, just a dry clean and a press. And I'm going to have to examine it real close and see if it's worth doing it. It might not be worth my while to do it, not because he won't pay me, but because it might actually damage the comic. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to take a chance on damaging somebody's book. So, did go to the comic book store today, bought some comics. Got some free stuff. He just gives me stuff sometimes. If he doesn't know what it is, he just gives it to me. I'll show you one of the items he gave me. Now these go for about $1 a piece, but I'm going to bundle them up and sell them as a lot. And they're work basket magazines. There's over 20 of them here, and I figure $1 a piece. I could sell the lot maybe for 20 bucks. Didn't cost me anything, so that would be decent. There's more stuff, but I'll show you that later. Let's go ahead and take a look at the new comic books I got today. If I can remember what I'm doing. Hey, it's been a week. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, great. It's not working. Here it is. Yes, we're in. Have to move this light that way a little bit. First thing, Absolute Batman, number 23. This is one of the variant covers. That's the regular cover. I kind of like this cover, so I went ahead and got it. And then I saw the next cover and went, oh, I got to have that. That's just awesome looking. Wow. The Ghostly Tales and Ghost Manor are so hard to find in very fine or better condition. Hell, you know what? There's another Absolute Batman cover that's better than the first three. Is that awesome looking or what? The Library 8878. I'm glad you could stop in. And then I saw this one. Damn you, DC. Why do you have to do 4 great covers? Oh, I always get cover A. See? It's right there inside of all the others. Just here browsing. Glad you could stop in. And then what else did I get? Oh, yeah. Action Comics 1101. Yeah. I couldn't resist that. And I couldn't resist that one either. And then I saw the Barbara Gordon Breakout variant cover, and I went, "Oh yeah, that's awesome! What a nice cover." Let's see what the A cover. That's the A cover. But wouldn't you know it, they DC's killing me this week, people. Then there's a Batman and Robin dynamic duo. I almost didn't get this cover, but I do kind of like it. Uh, it's just this one is better, but this one also reminds me of a previous cover. Yeah, they are. I buy Vertigo also because I like it. This is the cover, the alternate cover for Bleeding Hearts number 7. Bleeding Hearts is a really good book. I'm enjoying it. I don't like zombie books in general, but this one is really good. And then we've got Clayface Celebrity Dirt Story. There's the regular cover. And they killed it again. I just noticed it says Hollywood. And that one's just cute. How could I pass up Emperor Aquaman with a cover like that? It looks like you in high school, huh? There's the regular cover. Emperor Aquaman is okay. It's not the best of the DC line, but it's okay. But this cover is just, I mean, is that Bart Spears? Yeah. He's gotten so good. I mean, he was good anyway, but now he's even better. Fury of Firestorm. This is kind of a neat cover. But wouldn't you know it, they did a better one. There's my Green Lantern Corps, number 19. There is the regular cover. But I like this cover. That's the only variant they had on that one. And then we've got Supergirl number 16. I'm enjoying this series so much. It's probably one of my favorite DC Comics series right now. This is also kicks off Kingdom of Zod, and this is number 1. That's the regular cover, which I like, but I've got it. And then I saw this one. So, yeah, I had to get that one too because it's just awesome. Nubovich. And of course, I had to get that. If this had just been a regular cover, I wouldn't have bought it. The only reason I got it was because of the metal. Because it's kind of an ugly Supergirl. And then there's this one, The Nice House by the Sea. I'm not enjoying this. It was all right for the first couple of issues. Now I'm not too crazy about it. Yes, foiled again. What's this? So that's what I got new. But there was more that I got, and he gave me these too. These are from the early 60s, and I thought, wow, if there's a, and we're talking like 62, 63, 64, I thought, wow, if there is an advertisement for a Mustang in here, we're talking big money for the advertisement. So I thought, yeah, I'll take those. Unfortunately, this one didn't have any advertisement for any Ford products at all. There were General Motors products. Same with this one, General Motors. This one had a couple of Fords in it, but they were not the right one. Eisenhower, the man that was president when I was born. No luck on this one either. This one, again, no luck. I was hoping for a Mustang advertisement. No luck on this one. And I mean, they're still cool to get. Probably not worth much, but cool to have. And this was my last shot at getting something for a Mustang. And, you know, I knew there was no chance at this point. Yeah, yeah, not a one page, which is what I was hoping for, but a 4-page Ford Mustang advertisement. I'm going to sell this complete, but I'm going to let them know that it has a 4-page Mustang advertisement. I will use a little bit of Tingujo paper to cover this up. We'll probably press it, make it look pretty. But yeah, the bad part is I kind of want to keep it. There was one more magazine. It was I forget what it was. It was one my mom used to get when I was very young, and I used to read it because I read everything when I was young. And the thing and the reason that I'm not showing it is it's in really bad shape. Number one, and number two, I'm going to keep it. And why am I going to keep it? Because the cover date is April 1954, the month I was born. I got to keep it. I'll have a choice. So yeah, that was fun. And he gave me all of those. Just here, you can have these. He said he might have some gold key for me next week. Yeah, I am. Uh, Once in a while, I feel my age. You know, like when I was out cutting my front yard at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and it was 100 and something degrees. I felt my age a little tiny bit then, but I only cut the front part. I didn't cut the rest of it, so I was only out there about 45 minutes. But it did give me a little color, which is good. And afterwards, I slept good, and I felt good. So there you go. We got more stuff to go through. I have comics that I pressed, not this past week, but the week before. I didn't do a whole lot of pressing. Well, I did some pressing on some things that I wanted pressed that I didn't want to show. Uh, I could, but I don't want to, so I'm not going to. Uh, yeah, but I've got more stuff to show you. I've got magazines. You must have run over some poison ivy and it got back on you. Uh, I had poison ivy really bad when I was about 8 or 9 years old, and I barely had it at all since then. Uh, Bad enough to where I was taking chlorine bleach baths. You know, my mom would put like 2 cups of chlorine and fill up the bathtub, and I'd have to soak in it. It was bad. Yeah, I can understand that. I'll show a poison ivy next week. How's that? I have poison ivy. I have the poison ivy Barbie. Also, I have the Harley Quinn and the Batgirl, the Supergirl, Wonder Woman. Uh, I'll dig them all out and show them next week. maybe. Yeah. When I mow the, I do have, there is an area that does have poison ivy. When I mow that area, I wear long sleeves. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Showing off again. Yep. I knew people that made tea out of it. Weird. I told Sales Boy I would show this today, but I'm going to wait for him to show up before I actually show it. That's always cool. Yeah. Come to find out, they had a comic convention or comic show in Belton last week, and I didn't know anything about it, or I would have gone. Then again, maybe it's a good thing I didn't because I would have spent a lot of money. Let's go back over to the other camera and take a look at what I pressed. Who knows? Some of you might actually be impressed. I doubt it, though. We're going to start out with Howard the Duck, number 8, because I didn't show you enough of them last week. I've got 3 copies of this. I've been putting everything in Mylar. Howard the Duck, number 9. I'm out of Howard the Duck. Guess you guys will have to settle for this. I don't think I have to say anything. First appearance of the Man Thing. John Buscema, painted cover. Savage Tales, number 1. What's this? I never know what's going to show up. That's okay because Savage Tales number 2. Most people that have number 1 don't have number 2. Uh, Again, John Buscema cover. Savage Tales number 3, Pablo Marcus cover. Now there was a couple of years between Savage Tales number 1 and Savage Tales number 2. Savage Tales number 4, Neil Adams cover. One of my favorite Conan covers of all time. And Savage Tales number 5, also a Neil Adams cover. And another one of those things. That was the magazines. You are correct, Jackson Roy Kirk. Let's see what I did as far as comic books. Starting with a Ray Durgo cover from 1976. We're talking The Flintstones, number 43. Pretty nice, except it has a stain down here. Other than that, it's a pretty nice copy. Uh, and I had a Betty number 24. That's from 1995. That's Stan. Yeah, Stan Goldberg. Oh, yeah, there's his signature right up there. We like our George Wilson painted covers. So here's a Mighty Samson, number 6. Here's an older comic. This is from 1958. Paul Murray artwork on the cover. And we're talking Mickey Mouse's Summer Fun. This is a square bound, old square bound that had a really bad spine roll. I had to press it about 6 times to finally get the spine roll to lay flat. No, Lawson, I don't, but I do have a comic book marketplace that has some of his artwork in it. Of course, you got to show one of these. Tomb of Dracula, number 49, Gene Colan. Next, we got a Harvey Bill Valacy. Stone Protectors. Harvey always tries different things that didn't work. The only thing that ever really worked for them was Richie Rich and Casper and Wendy. And, you know, what's his name? The tough little ghost. Next up, Murphy Anderson, Hawkman number 21. Yeah, spooky. Yeah, it took me a long time to get all of them, but I'm glad I did. I don't collect it anymore because I have them. I just bought online. I bought a copy of Hawkman number 6. It's not here yet, but it should be here soon. I'm thinking it. No, it's not graded. I bought a graded comic that I'm going to pop almost as soon as I get it. Cerebus, Dave Samuel, of course, number 86. Yeah, I think it was one of the last covers Murphy Anderson did. I know Dick Dillon did some too. This one is Gerald McLean cover on Classics Illustrated number 9-167, Les Miserables. This is a really low grade copy, but it's the only one of this particular cover I have. I do have another copy of number 9, but it's the original cover. So we'll stick these over here. Let's see, what is this? Sheena 3D 1985. Dave Stevens goodness. I really need to get a checklist of all his covers because I think I'm very close to having them all. I think there's only one or two that I don't have now, but they're scattered throughout my collection. Some are Blackthorn, some are Eclipse, some are First. You know, he was all over the place. Next up, from Eclipse Comics, Liberty Project number 1. James Fry. I don't think that ever will surface, unless the guy dies, unless the guy that sold it dies. Because I don't think something like that was stolen for resale. I think it was stolen because the guy wanted it. Vanity number 1, Will Manu, you know. I think there were only 2 of these. Getting close to the end of my PC Comics collection. Oh, you're going to like this one. Got another Charlton here. Paul Fong Jr. from 1975. Hong Kong Fooey number 2. Pretty nice copy. We'll just leave that one there. Another Stan Goldberg Betty cover. That's actually a really nice cover. It's not, I don't think it's really very easy to get the reflection image to look like that. I don't know. I'm not an artist, but it's probably one of Goldberg. It's probably my favorite Goldberg cover. Next one is a Dan Spiegel cover. And we're talking from 1981, Dr. Solar, number 29. Also in this issue, Magnus Robot Fighter 4000 AD. How hard is it to do that and get the lines to squiggle like that and make it look right? from 1952. I don't have an artist on this one, probably because it's Gene Autry Comics number 62, and has Gene Autry on the cover. I don't know if he's examining those quackers to see if they're okay or if he plans to eat them. Yeah, this is one of those ones that was only available in the 3-packs. Got another Gene Colan coming up here. Dracula number 50. Dracula and the Silver Surfer. This next comic is one that's really hard to find in high grade. In fact, it's nearly impossible to find in high grade. And it's not that old. The next comic I'm going to show you is only like 25 years old. It's super hard to find in high grade. Tom and Jerry number 1 from 1991. My copy is got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spine ticks, so I would put that at like an 8.0, which to me is mid-grade. Don Carter, glad you could stop in, my friend. Look, there's another one. Yeah, I was right about that being the last Murphy Anderson cover. Here's Hawkman 22, and that is a Dick Dillon cover. Yeah, he's no Murphy Anderson or Joe Kubert, but he is definitely, he's one of the unsung heroes of the 60s. Service number 86, again. Multiple copies of a lot of Service. Here's that Classics Illustrated that's missing the centerfold. Treasure Island number 64. Does not have the centerfold, but the cover presents so well I had to press it. Let's see, what's this? 1997. Oh, look. It's Amanda Connor doing Vampirilla. Somewhere I have a sketch of Vampirilla by Amanda Connor. I also have a sketch of Vampirilla by Buzz. Liberty Project number 2, James Fry cover. Very nice. NC Wife Treasure Island private card. And I figure you guys didn't get enough vanity on that first round. So here's the second issue. I don't remember. This is actually number 3, not number 2. So I know there were at least 3 issues. I'm thinking 5 or 6 maybe. I don't know for sure. I'd have to look it up. Yeah. I like them. But I like I'm trying to get all of the PC comics. And I think I have them all, but I'm not positive. And one of the things we're going to do next week is go through all of my PC comics. And I have a checklist. I have a checklist, and we're going to go through all my PC comics and check them off, just see how close I am to having them all. So that ought to be fun. And I will post the checklist on my community page. Let's see this. I think this is another Charlton. Art Capello did the artwork on this. I Love You 89. Another thing that's really hard to find in high grade is Charlton romance comics, and this one definitely fits the high grade status. Well, maybe not. It's got a crease here, but that's it. Did I do an Atlas Seaboard checklist? I could go get those and show them to you, but not right now. I have all the Atlas Seaboard comics. I don't have all the magazines, but I do have all the comics. Let's see. Here's another Betty by Stan Goldberg. Nowhere near as nice as the other one he did. Yeah, I'd rather have an orange knee-high, but they don't make it anymore. Let's see. Here's Goodbye, Mr. Chips from 1970. I can do that. I can do an Atlas Seaboard sometime. Maybe not next week, but maybe the week after. Because next week I plan to show all my PC comics. But I can do Atlas Seaboard after that. I'm thinking about pressing them, so I might not need to because they're pretty nice shape. Let's see. Robert McGuire did this Combat. This is issue 35. Incredible artwork on this cover. I really, really like this cover. That kind of looks like it was done in oils. I guess it could be acrylic or watercolor, but it looks more like it was done in oil to me. Yeah, you can. Let's see, another Gil Kane. This one was out of order. I couldn't find it. You know, like number 10. I couldn't find it for a long time. Well, this one was also This is Tomb of Dracula number 9. It was a little bit out of order, but we'll get it settled. We'll get it fixed. Gil Kane cover. I think this might be one where they didn't actually fix anything on it. I figured I had to show something that you had already, Austin. So there you go. Tomb of Dracula number 9. Or do you not have that one yet? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I think this one they didn't retouch is the faces. Because on a lot of the Tomb of Draculas for Gil Kane's covers, they retouched the faces. 1966, number 20. Tough Ghosts featuring Spooky. You have the first 28, so only what, 42 left to go? This one's low grade. It has some problems on the spine, but I didn't feel like fixing it. So. Another Dick Dillon cover, Hawkman 23. Did you know that of the 27 issues of Hawkman that were done in the 60s, Joe Kubert only did one cover? Yeah, I sold all my Ghost Riders. Probably shouldn't have, but I did. I sold them during COVID, so I got good prices for them. There's Judith Hunt doing the Evangeline special number 1. Yeah. Two things combined to make my world sell my Ghost Riders. COVID, the prices really being really way higher than what they should have been, and me not actively collecting it at the time. So, yeah. I don't regret selling them, but I probably shouldn't have. Or maybe I should have. This is the Evangeline special number 1. Nice cover. Cerebus 87. Yeah, Marvel Spotlight number 5 I haven't had since 1976. I really need to get another one. I've got 1, 2, 3, and 4, but I don't have 5. And then I have a bunch after that. Let's see. Classics Illustrated number 67-154. Published 1963, The Scottish Chief. That is an Alex Bloom cover. I'm missing the first 20. And I don't think I have any after number 150. From 21 to like 100 and 120 or something, I've got a lot of them. I've probably got 300 Cerebus, but unfortunately, I don't have them all. Let's see. And this next one is a Mark Beecham cover. Vampirilla preview. That's what I pressed. Fun stuff. I enjoyed that. And of course, my little, you'll see those in a lot of videos from now on. Not scattered like that, but you'll see them. I want my channel to get bigger. I want it to grow. I kind of like to be monetized, but I don't think that's going to happen because they're changing the rules. Monetization is going to change for the normal monetization, which was 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours, is going to change to 1,000 subscribers and 8,000 watch hours. And that's going to happen sometime around February. So I have pretty much no chance. Yeah. It's a good way to do it, I think. And it's different. Go ahead and look at this. One of the things I like about it is this book that it comes with it. And the interior isn't just Superman. Although, gee, I have a copy of that photo with Kirk Allen reading a Superman comic. But it also has some other stuff. So yeah, I like that. Then something else that comes in the box is a reproduction of that Superman figure. That comes in that box. This is the Millennium Edition, by the way. Came out in 1999. And of course, which is the closest I have ever come to Superman #1. Superman #1 is one of the few comic books that I have never seen in real life. I've never seen it at a convention. I've never seen it at a show. I've just never seen a copy. Held Action Comics #1 multiple times. I've never seen a copy of Superman #1. That's about as close as I'm going to get. Now, everybody says, well, this is an exact reproduction. Beg to differ. No, it is not. And I'm going to show you why. See, my Superman 14. Superman #1 should be the same size. And guess what? It isn't. It is not the same size at all. And this one is a reprint of the first printing. Yeah, I've been around Detective 27 and Batman 1 and even some of the early hard to find all stars. I've seen them at shows back in the 70s. That stuff you'd see it all the time. Uh, I wasn't smart enough to pick it up at the time, but and now some of those comics are super rare, considered some of the rarest comics around, and they were around back then. You just don't see them anymore. But I've never seen a copy of Superman #1 in person. I've seen pictures of one, but I've never seen one in person. Yeah, I've seen Marvel #1. Uh, I've even seen what was it? More Fun Comics #1. Was that it? Or New Fun Comics #1. I've seen that. That was, let's see. There were two different titles. I think it was New Fun Comics. Then it changed titles, and then it changed titles again to Adventure Comics. I've seen that. But Superman #1, yeah. I need to save a lot of money because that is literally, literally my holy grail. I can't afford it, but I'd take a low grade copy if I could get it for like 15, 20,000. I'd buy it. I'd be in debt because I didn't use my credit cards, but I would buy it. Yeah, that stuff sells fast, and it's incredible. I'll show the. I also have the Batman Masterpiece Edition and the Wonder Woman Masterpiece Edition, and I'll show those at a later date. Yeah, but see, I've owned Hulk #1. I owned 1 through 6. It's the only thing I ever regret selling. Of all the comics I've bought and sold over the years, including Amazing Fantasy 15, Spider-Man #1, Fantastic Four #1, uh, tons of 50s DC and Atlas comics, multiple Conan ones, multiple other things, Hulk 181, Spider-Man 129. I've had 4 or 5 copies over the years. All that stuff, yeah, I don't care. I sold it. I made a profit. I'm happy. My Hulk 1 through 6, I regretted the day after I sold it, and I have regretted it ever since. Night, Mac. Glad you could stop in. Uh, Probably the only comics I've ever actually regretted selling. Yeah, you never know. You might walk into a thrift store or a yard sale or some other thing and find some of these really valuable comics. Yeah, I had to buy it. I had the chance to buy a #6 not that long ago, but I decided against it. The price was good. The price was fair, but I don't want a lower grade copy of it. If I buy the 1 through 6 again, I want minimum mid grade. So not just very good mid grade, but I mean fine or better is what I would like to have if I get them again. Yeah, absolutely. Anything can happen. Uh, Unfortunately, I think if a Hulk #1 was in an attic, it would be completely destroyed because the paper quality was so bad. You hear stories all the time. People buy houses and under the stairs they find a box of comics, and it's all of these old golden age wonderful comics. Did you give Eric hell for that? I hope you gave Eric hell for that. Yeah. Unless I'm getting them dirt cheap, Silver Age comics, fine or better. Bronze Age comics, very fine or better. New comics, in other words, anything after 1985, it's got to be near mint if I'm going to buy it. Oh, I finished the New Mutants '87 I was working on for the store, uh, and I showed it to the guy, and he was just blown away. I said, "Put it on your wall, sell it for $20." And he went, "No, you can have it." He handed it back to me, so I can have it. I said, "What am I going to do with this? You know, I've got a copy. I've got a better copy. I've got a near mint copy that has the Mark Jewelers variant that has Mark Jewelers in it." And he went, "Yeah, I know, but you can have that one too." And so took it out to my car along with the Superman 14 because I showed him that. Because he likes seeing those old comics that he doesn't carry. Uh, and came back in and was getting ready, pretty much ready to go. Guy came in that I know he collects Marvel comics, but he doesn't have a lot of money. And so I decided I'm going to show him the Superman 14. While I'm at it, I'll show him that comic that I conserved too. And I pulled it out and showed it to him, and he went nuts. And he said, "Man, this is one of my grails, but I can't afford it. I'm never going to own a copy of it." And I went, "Yeah, you can." He said, "No, I can't afford it." I said, "You already have a copy." He said, "No, I don't have a copy." I said, "Yes, you do. You're holding it right now." I gave it to him on the spot. The store owner just went, he didn't literally clap, but he was just happy. So I just gave it to him. I mean, it cost me nothing except the work that I put into it to clean it up. I let him know that it was a conserved copy, that it had been deacidified, that the staining on the inside was decreased and the stain on the outside was gone. And so it's a low grade copy, but he was just blown away and very happy. Yeah, I gave it to him. It just, for me, right at the time, it was the right thing to do. And did I lose money? Yeah, I actually lost money on that, but I was going to lose money on it anyway because I did the conservation for free. Anytime you do something for free, you lose money, especially conservation or artwork or anything like that. You're going to lose money because it takes you time to do it, takes you materials. Uh, I used a lot of calcium hydroxide and Bestine, or not Bestine, betaine. I went ahead and used the blue light treatment on the cover, even though I don't like doing that, but it did get all of the white, it did get all of that staining out, so that was good. And then after I did that, I went over it with calcium hydroxide and betaine again, and then went over it with methyl cellulose to make sure that it lasted as long as possible. I didn't show me doing that. I did show it a couple of times. It's just, this is also what I'm working on. And of course, the next thing I'm working on is this copy of Fantastic Four 34 that Lawson sent me. I'm going to clean it up. I'm going to press it, see if I can get these stains out of the cover. I will deacidify it. I will do a tape removal on it because it does have tape on that first couple of pages. So we're going to do a little tape removal, and you're going to see everything. When I press it, you're going to see me put it in the press. You're going to see me take it out of the press. And I have a list that I'm going to go by, and I will go down this list with you when I start it. And the list starts with take before pictures, because I always forget to take before pictures. So yeah, that's the next thing I'm planning on working on. I'm going to do. I'm going to finish famous or four color number 49 first. I decided that with the Pinocchio comic that I was working on or taking a break on, I'm going to finish that off camera, but I will show you how it turns out. Yeah, tape removal is not that hard. I don't know why everybody has trouble with it. I guess it's just I do it different, and the way I do it works. And everybody else has these other methods they use, and they end up not working as well as the way I do it. So, we'll see with that one how that turns out. And then after Fantastic Four 34, we've got Superman 5 with tape on the cover. So that one will be next. And after that one, Lois Lane #1. Well, you know what's going to happen with 34, right? After I finish it, it's going to go into the giveaway box. Yeah. Trapster, the villain formerly known as Paste Pot Pete. Trapster is so much a better name. Yeah, I've been having a lot of fun. And this is the next thing I'm going to, or this go. Here's a few that are in my, that are going into my. You'll see them again, but these are going into my queue to be pressed. Vampirella Classic #1. Laser Eraser and Press Button #6. This is my second copy. I have two copies of that one. Let's see, what is this? Twisted Tales #2. Beautiful copy. Space War #30. Absolutely gorgeous Charlton comic copy. That's from 1978. And Charltons are just hard to find in nice shape. Then I got a Betty and Me, and Beagle Boys versus Uncle Scrooge, and Rough and Ready, Savage Tales #10, and there's more. That's the giveaway from American Airlines. I think this one might be. Nope, not a first print. I was thinking that one might be first print, but it isn't. It's an early printing, but it's not a first. Yeah, I've got a comic or two I want to send to Metarog, but I never get around to it. I've got a couple of big boy comics that he might like. Yeah, I might keep them. I don't know. Yeah, I've got so much stuff that it isn't funny. This is that. It, this is definitely the book that Jerry the Jitterbug was referencing on his channel a while back. Um, I had it stuffed away. Let me read that passage. This is from 1988, I think. See, 1983, first edition. So, yeah. And we'll read a little bit of it when I find that section. Storage and preservation, handling, indexing, boxes, comic book restoration. If one day you notice that your prized Daredevil #1 mysteriously developed a cover tear, don't despair. Help is at hand. A professional uh, restorer can repair your comic book. Of the many defects to be found in a comic book, most can be repaired, sometimes completely and invisibly, sometimes only partially and noticeably. Among the repairs offered are the mending of tears and creases, the replacement of pieces and pages, tape removal, restapling, color retouching, cleaning, stain removal, elimination of rolled spines, rebuilding of spines, and deacidification. Most of these repairs require painstaking care and craftsmanship of skilled professional. Since restoration is time consuming, it can be expensive. It is not unusual for a typical repair job to cost from $30 to $80. Now, the reason I'm facing off to the side is because I'm kind of facing the screen instead of my camera like I should be. Uh, and my throat's dry. That's tea, not beer. I don't drink alcohol. Not since 1987. Because of the expense, it is not worth it to have every comic restored professionally. It pays to do so only if the increase in value will be more than the cost of the repair. Sometimes repairs may not upgrade the condition or value of a book, even though they may make the comic book more attractive and possibly easier to sell. A professional restorer will, free of charge, appraise your comic's current value and estimate its value should the book be restored. A comic that has been professionally restored without adding any new materials to the book usually will have the same grade as an unrestored comic in similar shape. Repairs in this catalog include cleaning, tape removal, spine roll reversal, and deacidification. A restored comic to which new materials have been added will generally have a grade halfway between the original state and the state it appears to be in after restoration. Repairs may include the mending of tears, creases, and spines, color retouching, and replacing missing pieces or pages. A lot of the stuff they're describing, we now consider conservation rather than restoration. All conservation is restoration. Not all restoration is conservation. That is something we should be aware of. Uh, a professional restorer normally will guarantee your comic against loss or damage. While he has it, the repair work is usually completed within a few weeks. If you do not live near a restorer, you can send your comic to one through the mail. Be sure to package it carefully and insure it with the post office. A professional restorer will usually quote a repair fee that is firm. That is, he will not raise the charge after the work is finished if you have agreed upon the price in advance. Also, special discounts are occasionally offered to regular customers or on large orders. And it talks about William Sorrell, who was a conservator of ephemera back in the 80s. I don't know if he still is around or not. And I'm not going to give his phone number and address. Because professional restoration is so expensive, many collectors are attempting to do certain repairs themselves. The best amateur results are achieved by those who have some artistic ability and a penchant for neatness. If you want to try your hand at repair, experiment first on new comics that can easily be and inexpensively be replaced in case you ruin them. Practice is the name of the game. Most equipment and tools used in comic book restoration may be purchased in art supply stores. Restoration items include erasers, brushes, inks, staples, glue, blotting paper, X-Acto knives and blades, rulers, rice paper, and cleaning fluid, a tacking iron, a small electrical iron with a long handle, sold at art supply stores and used for spot pressing, and dry mounting presses are great if you can get them, but it is possible to make repairs without them. Here are some repairs you can try yourself. In order to perform certain of them properly, you must first remove the cover from the book, and if it is dirty, clean it. Then you make the repair and reassemble the book. Removing and cleaning the cover. Remove the cover by taking out the two staples that keep the book together. Do not use a staple remover. Fingernails are best. Gently lift the two folded ends of each staple until the staple is fully opened. Then push the staple out of the book. When both staples are out, remove the cover and clean it by soaking it about 15 minutes in a clear petroleum-based solvent such as naphtha, which is available in most hardware stores. Be very careful when using naphtha. It is highly flammable and extremely toxic. Constant exposure to this chemical has been known to cause illness. The novice is advised to use naphtha only occasionally and only in a room that is ventilated with plenty of fresh air. Most of the time when I soak something in a petroleum-based product, I do it outside. Or I open all the doors and turn the air conditioner on. A plastic tub, a kitty box, or an aluminum roasting pan can be used for soaking. The container should be large enough so that when the book's cover is open flat, it doesn't touch the sides. An inch or two of solution is sufficient. The solution will clean the cover by dissolving dirt and stains. Not always. It will also make tape easily removable. Not always. A commercially prepared solution called adhesive release will also do the job. No. Also, soaking the cover carefully, remove it from the solution with a tweezer and place it between two sheets of acid-free blotting paper, which will dry the cover in minutes. After the cover has dried, it is ready for further repair. If no other repair is needed, the book is ready to be reassembled. Replacing the staples and cover. Place the cover and the pages together in proper alignment. You may use the original staples if they are still in good condition. If they are broken or rusted, replace them with rust-proof staples of the same size. Not just the same size, same year, preferably same publisher. Using your fingers, push the staples through the original holes. Check to see if the pages need straightening before closing the staples. Press the arms of each staple down so that they lie flat, but are not so tight that the tips press into the book. If possible, you should now dry press the book. If you can't get it pressed, don't worry, this step can be skipped, since cleaning the book does not remove the original fold. If you do have a dry mounting press, fold the comic in half along the original crease and place it in the press for a few minutes. When the press is tightly closed, its heat will flatten the book, doing away with the spine roll and creases. If you have a severely rolled comic but don't have a press, you can try flattening the book by placing it between two large heavy books or boards. Be sure to place acid-free cardboard sheets against the front and back covers as protection. Mending tears. Most tears are of the overlapping type, that is, the rip slices through the paper at an angle so that it is possible to repair the page by placing one side of the tear on top of the other. An adhesive that dries invisibly and does not crack should be used. Bill Sherrill has devised his own secret formula, which he calls duck bond. Yeah, rice glue, wheat glue, wheat paste, yeah, any of that stuff. Many amateurs use rubber cement, which when dried can easily be peeled off from the places where it is not wanted. That is not a good idea. It will yellow the paper. The adhesive should be applied along the bottom edge of the tear with a very fine brush. If the tear is long, do a small section at a time, about an inch or so. Brush the glue along the edge of the bottom of part of the tear, holding up the overlapping piece while you spread the glue. Then gently drop the overlap in place. If possible, use a tacking iron to spot press the section just glued. If you don't have an iron, any flat, smooth object will do. Continue this process for the length of the tear. Rice paper or mending tissue should be used for sharp edge tears, such as scissors cuts, which do not have an overlap. But this type of repair definitely should be left for the professional. Yeah, that's pretty much all you need to do. Um, I do what I call damp cleaning often, which is I have some uh, betaine that's a betaine soap that I'll put, a little bit into a 2 ounce bottle and then fill the bottle up with distilled water, shake it up, put a little bit of that, on a spot on a cotton round, and I'll rub it on the book. And that'll take off a lot of dirt a lot of times. I do that after dry cleaning, not before. But, yeah. Retouching cover creases. This is true restoration here. In the case of a cover crease, when the color is gone from the crease, it must be retouched. No. Clear opaquing fluid should be first be brushed on the back of the crease and allowed to dry to prevent the ink from coming through the cover. Spot pressing the crease, mix the ink to paper shade. Any good watercolor in liquid form, such as Luma watercolor, slightly under $2 for one bottle, will do using a very fine brush. Paint along the crease using short strokes. The ink should be applied in thin layers until smooth and even. Neatly blot the ink with a small piece of blotting paper when you're finished painting. You may want to restore the cover luster along the repair. What is used by most paper conservators before they do an ink wash or a paint is they will use methyl cellulose over it, because the methyl cellulose will come off, and they take off the methyl cellulose, the ink comes off too. So you left the original and just did the back cover? Yeah, acrylic paint is actually good to use. It's actually one of the approved things to use, but you should always use a little methyl cellulose on it first to make it so that you can remove it later. Oh, okay. As long as you're happy with it, that's the important thing. I'm just glad I was able to find a copy for you. Restoring cover gloss. Cover gloss may be restored by using methyl cellulose, which is available at drugstores. Mix the methyl cellulose with water to a gluey consistency. It can then be applied to small areas with a lint-free rag or brushed over the entire cover. Methyl cellulose is a sizing agent and will cause the cover to ripple and curl. This necessitates pressing the cover with heat. So if you don't have a tacking iron or a dry mounting press, do not attempt this repair. Not necessarily. It doesn't always wrinkle. If you put it on right and then do a press, it'll work fine. Deacidification, and it goes into it, is technically more a process of preservation and restoration. However, on occasion, deacidification has been known to whiten yellowed pages. Professional restorers recommend painting or soaking methods as the best means of deacidification. Yeah, that's a good way to do it. Uh, I'm glad it worked out for you. That's and like I said, I was just happy that I was able to find you a copy with a nice cover. Trimming. Some books may have overlapping covers that are slightly larger than the pages of the book. Consequently, the edges can be easily damaged or chipped. Overlapping cover edges may be trimmed with an X-Acto knife. Cut carefully using the edge of a metal ruler as a guide. Never, ever, 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 ever do that. A lot of the information in this book is bad. Erasing. You may use kneaded or white vinyl drafting erasers to erase pencil marks, dirt, or smudges on a comic. Erase only on the white areas. If you erase on the color, you will remove the ink. Do not press too hard. Of course, we know now there are ways to erase. If you go over it really lightly with an eraser, you can erase color, the colored areas, but you have to do it. Just let the eraser just gently sit on the page and drag it across. You're not pressing down at all, and you're letting the eraser do its thing. I did that on a comic once, and it took me about probably 200 or 300 passes with the eraser, just going at letting the eraser just sit on there and me dragging it across. But I did manage to remove a lot of dirt. Taping. Tape repairs are usually not recommended for restoring comic books. You may, however, use Scotch Magic Tab transparent tape or see-through mylar tape for fixing books with no real financial value that might otherwise fall apart. No, you may not do that. No, absolutely not. Because that book that has no financial value that may fall apart now might be worth $100 later or $1,000 later. You don't know what's going to be worth money. Now that you've learned many of the intricacies of acquiring and maintaining a comic collection, okay, that ends the chapter. I wasn't reading the whole chapter, just that section. So, but it goes storage and preservation. The book has some good information in it, but it has a lot of bad information in it too. I keep it around as just kind of a cool thing to have. Yeah, the only tape I ever use on comics, and I don't use it much anymore, is this can be removed. It's not easy, but it is acceptable. It is considered an acceptable form of conservation. Uh, Sometimes when I have a comic that the centerfold has come out of, and it's not a particularly valuable book, I'll use that to just seal over where the staple goes through and then put it back together. But that's about all I use it for anymore. I've had that one roll now for 4 years. Shows you how much I use it. I used to use it a lot. I don't use it hardly at all now. I like my Tingujo paper. So, yeah, fun time. I'm probably going to go ahead and offer the guy like $30 for all that stuff. Uh, I think that's about all it's worth to me, uh, because some of it's just not going to sell. Some of it I might get lucky and sell. Oh yeah, that reminds me. At the beginning of the show, and most people are going to miss it because it looks like you're the only one left, Sluston. I told you why I had these two. And they're not important, right? There's absolutely nothing important in this comic. It's worth nothing, or is it? See if I can get that so you can read it. Probably not. Let's use the other camera. Switch to the other camera real quick. I think you can get to read that. Notice the artist. It's Amanda Connor's first published work. And that's what the heck happened. There we go. And that's why I have the newsstand and direct. If I ever get the chance to see Amanda again, I'm going to get her to sign it. Sign one of them. I don't even care if she signs the cover. Normally, I don't like people signing covers, but you know. You can get these for under $12, $5 to $12, somewhere around there. It's pretty cool to have her first work, and she's pretty cool. She's a pretty cool person. I met her back in the early '90s. She was doing Vampirilla at the time. Yeah, that's why I have those two in my collection. I like getting first cover or first comic art or first published comic art by artists, and also by writers. Sometimes I like to get a writer's first written uh, comic. I was going through my Archie comics the other day, and I found my Fly #4, which of course has that panel by Neil Adams. That some people say that's his first published work. And I also have uh, Archie's Joke Book #44, which is Neil Adams' first. Uh, he has a full comic strip in there, and that's other people say that's his first published work. So they came out on the same day. They're both his first published work. But since one is just a single panel and the other one is an entire story, I consider the one with the entire story his true first published work. Because the panel, he submitted the panel along with a whole page in that panel as a to try to get a job, and they decided to use the panel. The strip that he did in Archie's Joke Book magazine, that is an actual thing that he illustrated for the company. So to me, that is truly his first published work. The other one is just incidental. Uh, they just decided they liked that panel. And I'll dig it out and show it next week. Just because why not? Yeah, but I wouldn't. Well, that's your first published work. Wait, didn't you do some stuff for TSR before that though? Like I said, didn't you do artwork for TSR back in the 80s? Oh, you said 1991. Was that a typo? Should it have been 1981? See, there you said 1991. Thought it was earlier than that. I'll have to look and see what I've got by you. I could have sworn I had some that's earlier than that. Obviously, you would know better because you did the work. But oh, okay, you were still a youngin. And maybe it's stuff that I bought in the 90s that I thought I bought earlier than that. I don't know. I've got so much crap. Why wouldn't I be on tonight? It was only last week that I wasn't on. I missed 1 week and you think I'm never going to show up again? What's the deal with that? You know, you're going to have to go back and watch the whole thing again. Next week, I'll be on same time, but the I'm changing the name of the show. It will no longer be Coffee with Chaos. I'm going to change it to Wednesday Night Chaos. Yeah, that's a 1964 magazine ad. All right. All right. Well, we'll see you later, Lawston. Glad you could stop in. And Diecast, you showed up just as I'm getting ready to sign off. You should see I have Superman holding a flag now. That's going to be it for this one. Go back and watch. And of course, you want to do all that neat stuff. Take care, everybody. Bye.